Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Deborah and today I will be showing how to make bean pudding or moi-moi from Mongo's beans. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere and keep watching. So this is the Mongo's beans. This is the kind of beans we easily get here in Philippines. It's called Mongo's beans. Some call it Mongol beans. So I'll be showing how to use these beans to make moi-moi or bean pudding. So I'll be using these leaves, banana leaves, to wrap it. You can choose to use plastic or nylon and foil or plastic container, anyone you prefer, but in this video I will be using this leaf because there is this unique flavor it adds to the pudding and it's also healthy, so that's why I prefer this. But anyway, you can go ahead to use any one you want, just to make your choice. So I'll be using bell peppers. In Nigeria we call this tatashe. Yeah, I hope I'm correct. Tatashe or shombo, any of the two, but here they are red bell peppers, so I'll be using this. You can also use according to the quantity of the beans you're making. So for the one I'm making, I'll be using this quantity. So I'll be using ginger, not all of these though. I'll be using like 2 inch of this ginger. 2 inch of this ginger. This is also as you prefer. Anyway, you can use as you prefer. I'll also be using garlic. I'll be using about 3 cloves of garlic for this recipe. These two ingredients are, to me, I feel they are very important because there's this flavor it adds to the pudding, to the moi-moi. Yeah, you can give it a try. Then also I'll be using onions, medium-sized onions, 2 medium-sized onions. Yeah, you can choose to use more, but for this recipe, for this quantity, I'll be using those. So this is salt. This is salt. Here I have some vegetable oil. So here I will advise you use any bland vegetable oil you can see. You can use corn oil, canola oil, anyone you prefer. The reason is so that you get to have a real taste of the beans itself. So I'll be using magic syrup for this recipe. I'll be using this type of seasoning for this recipe. I'll also be using some sardines. I'll be using about 2 of this. Back home we use smoked mackerel, but here it's not readily available, so I'll be using sardine. Although I'll be using this curry. This is small crayfish. We call it crayfish, but here they call it small fish. So I'll also be using this for that curry, and this time I'll use them both to season the sardines so that I can be able to. I don't like the taste of the container, like, I don't know if you get what I mean. So I'll use those seasonings to reduce the taste. Then I'll be using some chilies. Yeah, I won't use all of these though. I'll use some of it. But if you're on a hot side, you love spice, you can use all. So these are all the materials I'll be using for this recipe. Yeah, we have oil, the banana leaf, the beans. For this recipe, I'll be using half kilos of beans. Yes, half kilos of beans, which should be around 3 cups of beans in Nigeria. So guys, here I've already soaked the beans. This was around 9:30 when I soaked these beans. This was around 9:30, and this is the next day around 4:30 p.m. This is what it looks like. So, but you can go ahead to soak it for like a day and a day, maybe 1.5 days, because this base is really hard. Yes, it's really hard. Some call it wonder beans, magic beans, because previously, as I showed it, it was looking so small, but this morning it increased in size. So you can as well extend your own soaking, but now it is ready because the bags are peeling. Though this took me some time, I started around 4:30 in the evening and I finished around after 7 peeling this base. But if you don't want to take such a long time peeling the base, I would suggest you soak it for a longer time. Yeah, because I'm not sure it was not up to 24 hours. Minimum you should soak this should be around 24 hours. But if you don't want to take your time, like spend a lot of time in washing this, you can leave it for 1.5 days, just be changing the water. Yeah. So here is peeling. I had to go to the sink to rinse out the chaff, the back. And the main goal here is to actually remove that green back, the back. Yeah, it's actually tedious, but it's worth it if you can patiently do this. Yeah, so the goal is to remove the back of that. So I think I rinsed like 3 or 4 times to remove the back of this ones that are already peeled before I continued with the peeling. But it all depends anyway. You can rinse as long as you wish, as much as you want. You can actually rinse till you're sure that the chaff is no longer there. So I continue to wash it in the background. Yeah, a point came I had to be picking off the green ones, the ones that were a bit stubborn for me to peel. I had to pick them out. Like I brought, if you have tray, you can use tray to do that. So I had to pick it out so I will know how far I've gone. So this was the last phase. I had to do everything behind the camera, but I've already shown you how to do it, like how to the way you keep your hand and begin to twist to remove the back. So this is the final stage, guys. It took me a lot of time, but whenever I'm using this base, I like to make sure that the back is completely removed, because if you don't remove the back completely, like let's say like 70-30%, if the green ones are more than the one peeled, it gives the pudding at the end, it gives it that greenish color, but I didn't want that. So here, guys, I already boiled some water and soaked the banana leaf. I had this banana leaf in the ref, so it has been in the ref, and thank God I decided to make this pudding. So I remembered it. I'll be using this leaf. So already I soaked them in hot water, kind of hot water, the one my hand could contain. The water was a bit hot, so I soaked it there. And while it was soaking, I soaked it for about 10 to 15 minutes. I couldn't say because I didn't check the time, but it stayed in that water for some time. So while it's still sitting in the water, let's prepare other ingredients we'll be using. So this phase, I want to prepare the sardine, as I said earlier. On a normal, I prefer to use smoked fish. Yeah, grilled fish, or whatever name you know it for. There's this unique flavor it adds to this, but over here it's not readily available, so I'll be using sardine as an improvise. But I don't really like the taste of the sardine, yeah, because it's canned. So I will be taking this process. I'll be using this process to, in a way, remove as much as I can the taste of the can. So I've already added the sardine into the oil. And another advantage of this process is that there is also a unique flavor this one adds to the beans after it's cooked. I do hope you will give this a try. using these recipes. You'll be glad you did. So I added curry and also a little thyme to enhance the flavor of the sardines. So I think I fried this for about, it was not up to 5 minutes. I fried it for some time before I off the light. So here guys, I've finished preparing the onions, the garlic, the ginger, the peppers, bell peppers and chilies. I've already washed them. I've cut them into small sizes. These sizes because this is the size that my blender can take. So this beans, what you're seeing inside is the small crayfish. I've already added the small fish. Here they call it small fish, but way back when we call it crayfish. I've already added it to the beans already and mixed it, so that's why it's looking like this. So it's time to blend, guys. It's time to blend. So you prepare these things according to the size of your blender or grinder. So my own blender is quite small. That's why I took my time to cut it to these shapes. It's time to blend, guys. I've already loaded the cup, the blender, and ready to blend. I really recommend this blender because I didn't know one can blend beans in a blender, because I used to think that blenders are not so strong, but this blender is really good. I mean, it's good. They didn't pay me for this, but it's actually good. With this, I kind of like, I don't find it hard making this anytime I feel like. It grinds it very smooth, as though it was grinded in the big engine, for those that understand what I am saying. So I had to rinse the cup with water, and it was part of the water I used for those beans because it was kind of thick. I also added a little bit of hot water, but at this point, guys, just do you like until you get the texture you're looking for, but let it not be too watery. Let it not be watery. So I added the sardine I prepared, seasoning. I thought my camera was on when I added the magic syrup, but I later discovered it was not on. So guys, when it comes to seasoning, you can do as you prefer, but not to the extreme anyway, because this recipe doesn't require too much ingredients. Yeah, beans on its own is tasty, just that this kind of beans here is kind of small, but beans is beans. I think beans is beans, so beans on its own is tasty, even if you cook it with only salt. So here guys, I'll be wrapping I'm just showing, though this video is not a tutorial on how to wrap leaf for moi-moi, but I just put in this clip so that in case you don't have a clue on how to use the leaf, you could get a clue. Just fold it well, any pattern you know well, just use it. But I'm just showing this in case you don't have any clue. It's not as if there's a hard or fast rule to it. There are different other ways of folding this leaf, but this is the one I've learned here, because first, the leaves I'm using, if you look closely, you see it's just one, but there's this leaf back home, they call it oma leaf. Yeah, if you want to use it to do this, it needs to be two, one overlapping the other. Yeah, but this one we have here is not really oma leaf, but it's banana leaves. So half bread is better than none, they say. So this is how I fold this particular leaf here. So guys, if you've watched to this point, please consider to subscribe, like, and very importantly share as well. Maybe somebody somewhere might be looking for this kind of recipe and you might be the person saving grace. So please share as much as you can. Share to your friends. Thank you so much. Subscribe and drop your comment if you think that, if you have any suggestions or whatever, just drop it in the comments to be appreciated. So guys, this is what it looks like after I was done with the wrapping. Yeah, this is what it looks like. So I'll be covering it, topping it, covering it with the leaves, the remaining leaves. Reason being that while cooking bean pudding or moi, you need the steam. You need the steam to cook it, not actually the water. I added a little water there. So this will help to hold back the steam so you can cook the moi. So this is what we got, guys. After cooking it for like 45 minutes plus. You have to cook this for a minimum of 45 minutes depending on the quantity of pudding you're making or moi you're making. You cook it for at least 45. The higher the quantity, the higher the time you use. So guys, it is ready. See it here. And believe me guys, it tasted so nice. It was so yummy that I even forgot I was on camera. I was already going far with the eating. So I hope you try this recipe and drop your comments too. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Drop your comments too. Thank you so much and God bless you. Bye. See you in my next video.